Okay, today we're doing something really cool. We're going to take a tour of the most complex, most fascinating thing in the entire known universe, your brain. And we're not going to use some dry, dusty textbook. No, we're going to use a map.
So, how do you even begin to make sense of this thing? Well, we're going to use a pretty simple idea. Just imagine your brain is a giant, bustling city. It's got different neighborhoods, power plants, communication grids, you name it. And all of it is working together 24/7 to create, well, you. So, you ready? Let's start the tour.
Our first stop is the main metropolis. This is the biggest, most developed part of the whole brain city. It's called the cerebrum, and it's where pretty much all your conscious thoughts, your personality, and all the things you choose to do happen. This is the heart of what makes you, you.
Now, this cerebrum is split into two big halves, or hemispheres, and inside those, you have four major districts, which we call lobes. See all these colored zones? Each one has a super specialized job, kind of like how a city's financial district is totally different from its arts district. So let's look at what these districts actually do. Up front, you've got your frontal lobe. That's like this city hall, the executive headquarters, where all the planning and big decisions get made. Then there's the parietal lobe. That's your city's navigation and logistics hub. It processes sensations and figures out where you are in the world. On the sides, the temporal lobe. That's the library and the communication center. It handles language and stores all your memories. And way in the back, you have the occipital lobe. That thing is a massive data processing plant for everything you see. But, a city isn't just about the flashy downtown offices, right? You need a whole crew working behind the scenes, keeping the lights on and making sure everything runs smoothly. And for our brain city, that's the cerebellum and the brainstem. These are the real unsung heroes. The most important utility of them all has to be the brainstem. It connects your brain to your spinal cord, and it's basically the city's power plant and life support system all rolled into one. It manages all the automatic stuff you never, ever have to think about, like your heart beating, your breathing, all of that. It is absolutely essential. So if the brainstem is the life support keeping the city's lights on, the cerebellum is the coordination center. Think of it like the air traffic control or the public works department. It's what makes sure all your movements are smooth, balanced, and precise. Without it, everything would be shaky and just chaotic. Okay, now we're going deeper. We're venturing into the old, historic, downtown core of the brain city. This is the limbic system. And this place isn't about logic or planning. No, this is the ancient heart of the city, the part that drives your emotions, your deepest motivations, and your most important memories.
You can see these key buildings are nestled deep inside the brain. This is where you'll find the city's most powerful institutions. We're talking the central archives, the emergency alarm systems, and the main regulation offices. Let's pop in and visit each one.
First up, the hippocampus. I want you to think of this as the city's grand library or its main archive. Every new experience you have that's worth keeping gets processed and filed right here. It turns a quick note into a long-term memory. Seriously, without this building, you couldn't make any new lasting memories. Right next door to the library is the amygdala. Now this place is the city's emergency alarm system. It's on high alert 24/7, constantly scanning for danger. And the second it spots a threat, it smashes that alarm button, triggering instant emotional reactions like fear or anger, your classic fight or flight response. It is incredibly fast, and it's all designed to keep you safe.
And finally, we've got the hypothalamus. This is the city's central regulation office. Its job is to monitor all the basic needs of the city's population, which is your body, and make sure resources like food and water are managed. It's in charge of hunger, thirst, body temperature, basically keeping everything in perfect balance.
So, we've toured the districts, we've met the utility crew, and we've explored the emotional core. But you know what? The real magic of this city isn't any single part. It's how they're all connected. It's a vast, lightning-fast communication network that ties the whole metropolis together.
Let's see it in action. Imagine you see a dog. Instantly, the visual plant in your occipital lobe processes that image. That signal zips over to the archives in the temporal lobe, which says, yep, that's a dog. At the same time, the amygdala's alarm system flags it as either friend or threat and triggers joy or fear. And then, finally, the executive suite in the frontal lobe makes the call. Do we pet the dog or do we back away slowly? And all of this happens in less than a blink of an eye,
Amazing.
And that really brings us to the most important thing to remember from our tour today. The brain's incredible power doesn't come from any one region. It comes from billions of connections all firing together in this perfectly coordinated network. It's the ultimate supercomputer.
So as we end our tour, I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. If your entire experience of the world, everything you see, feel, and think, is just the result of this bustling city of neurons, then who exactly is the resident listening to this right now? Thanks for joining the tour.